In the ancient times, when the sun bathed the desert sands with golden rays, and the whispers of the wind carried tales of kings and gods, there was a man named Bamba. He was not born of nobility, nor was he a warrior of great strength, but he possessed something even more valuable: wisdom. Bamba lived in a small village nestled between two mighty kingdoms, each vying for control of the trade routes that passed through the vast Sahara Desert. Every year, caravans from far lands would pass through Bamba's village, carrying spices, gold, salt, and stories from distant realms. The village was a melting pot of cultures, where merchants spoke of ancient empires and mythical creatures that roamed the earth. Bamba, being curious and clever, always sat with the travelers, absorbing their tales like the desert absorbed the rain. One evening, as the sun sank below the horizon, casting long shadows across the village, an old traveler with a weathered face approached Bamba. His eyes glinted with the knowledge of 1,000 journeys. "The desert speaks, young one," he said, "and it seeks those who will listen. Will you heed its call?" Bamba, intrigued, asked, "What does the desert say?" "It speaks of a path, hidden from those blinded by greed, a path that leads to a treasure far greater than gold. But only the wise and the patient can find it," the old man said, before vanishing into the night. That night, Bamba dreamed of vast deserts, endless dunes, and a golden palace hidden beneath the sand. When he awoke, he knew what he must do. He would journey into the desert to find the hidden path and discover the treasure the old man spoke of. With nothing but a small pouch of dates, a skin of water, and his unwavering determination, Bamba set off into the desert. The villagers watched in awe and disbelief as he disappeared into the vast, unforgiving sands. Many had tried to conquer the desert before him, and none had returned. Days passed, and the scorching sun beat down on Bamba. The dunes seemed to stretch on forever, each one looking identical to the last. But Bamba was determined. He followed the signs the desert gave him, the subtle changes in the wind, the shifting patterns of the sand, the rare sighting of a bird flying overhead. He knew the desert was guiding him. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Bamba encountered an oasis. It was a small hidden place with fresh water and date palms, just enough to provide him with the strength to continue his journey. As he rested by the water, he noticed an old tortoise slowly making its way across the sand. The tortoise looked at Bamba and spoke in a slow, wise voice. "You seek the hidden path, but beware, young one. The desert tests those who venture too far. Many before you have fallen, not because they lacked strength, but because they lacked patience." Bamba nodded, understanding the tortoise's warning. He knew that the path to wisdom was not one of haste, but one of careful thought and perseverance. As Bamba continued his journey deeper into the desert, he encountered another traveler. This man was tall, with broad shoulders and a chest adorned with golden chains. His eyes gleamed with ambition. "I am Kadi, a merchant from the kingdom of Mali," the man said. "What brings you to this desolate place?" Bamba explained his quest, and Kadi laughed. "A treasure greater than gold, you say? There is no such thing. Gold is the only treasure worth seeking, and I know where it lies." Kadi offered to take Bamba to a hidden cave filled with riches beyond imagination. "With this gold, you can buy kingdoms, build palaces, and live like a king. Forget your foolish quest for wisdom," Kadi said. For a moment, Bamba was tempted. The thought of wealth and power was alluring, but then he remembered the old traveler's words and the tortoise's warning. "The desert tests those who venture too far," he thought. "I will not be swayed by gold," Bamba said. "My path is one of wisdom, not riches." Kadi, frustrated by Bamba's refusal, disappeared into the desert, leaving Bamba alone once more. Bamba knew that this was just the first of many temptations he would face on his journey. Bamba's journey continued, and as the days turned into weeks, he began to feel the weight of the desert's vastness. One afternoon, as the heat of the sun bore down upon him, Bamba saw a magnificent city rise out of the sands. Its walls were made of marble, its towers reached the sky, and its streets were lined with people dressed in fine silks and jewels. Bamba approached the city, marveling at its beauty. As he entered the gates, a man dressed in royal robes greeted him. "Welcome, traveler," the man said. "I am King Sul, ruler of this great city. You have been chosen to join me in ruling this land." Bamba was offered a throne beside King Sula and promised power over all who lived in the city. But as Bamba sat on the throne, he noticed something strange. The people of the city had hollow eyes, as if they were soulless. "This is not real," Bamba thought. "This is a mirage, a test of power." He stood up from the throne and said to King Sule, "I seek not power over others, but power over myself. Your city is an illusion, and I will not be trapped by it." With that, the city faded away, and Bamba found himself alone in the desert once more. As Bamba continued deeper into the desert, the landscape began to change. The once soft and shifting sands became hard and cracked. The winds howled louder, and the sun seemed more unforgiving than ever before. His water had long run out, and his body ached with exhaustion. He had begun to question if he could continue. One day, as he stumbled forward, nearly on the brink of collapse, he saw a figure in the distance. It was an elderly woman sitting on a rock, her face hidden beneath a wide-brimmed straw hat. As Bamba approached, she offered him a small gourd of water. "Drink," she said, "but know this. The desert is a place of trials. You must endure to find what you seek. If you turn back now, you will forever wonder what could have been." Bamba drank gratefully, but remained silent, contemplating her words. His legs trembled with weakness, and his spirit wavered. Yet, despite the trials, he felt that he had already come too far to turn back. With renewed strength, he thanked the woman and continued his journey. As the night fell, Bamba found himself standing before a vast canyon. The only way across was a narrow bridge made of old wooden planks, swaying dangerously in the wind. It was a test of endurance, not just physical, but mental. One misstep could mean his death. With careful steps, Bamba crossed the bridge, feeling the weight of the wind and his own fear pressing against him. But each step was a testament to his resilience. By the time he reached the other side, he realized something important. Endurance wasn't about conquering the desert. It was about conquering his own doubts. Bamba's journey brought him to an ancient ruin, half buried in the desert sands. The walls were covered in inscriptions that seemed older than time itself. As he approached, the ground began to tremble, and a towering figure emerged from the ruins. It was the guardian of time, a being with the body of a man, but the face of an ancient clock, its hands slowly ticking away. "Who dares to enter the realm of time?" the guardian boomed. "Many have come before you, seeking to change their past or glimpse their future, but all have failed." Bamba stood tall, though his heart pounded in his chest. "I do not seek to alter time," he said. "I only wish to understand it." The guardian's eyes glowed with a soft light. Time is not a treasure to be taken or controlled. It is a river ever flowing, and those who chase it will only be swept away. But those who learn to move with it and respect its current will find their way. Bamba nodded, understanding that time was not something to fear or covet, but to respect and flow with. The guardian smiled and stepped aside, allowing Bamba to pass through the ruins and continue his journey. After passing through the ruins, Bamba came upon a great plain, where a massive battlefield stretched out before him. Thousands of warriors clashed in the distance, their swords gleaming under the sun, and banners waved in the wind. At the center of the battlefield stood a mighty general, his armor gleaming like gold. He called out to Bamba. "Join me," the general said. "Together, we can conquer all who oppose us. You will be celebrated as a hero, your name sung by generations to come. What could be greater than glory?" Bamba was tempted. The offer of eternal fame and glory was powerful. But as he looked closer, he noticed the faces of the soldiers fighting. They were weary, their eyes filled with sorrow and desperation. Glory, it seemed, came at the cost of the suffering of others. "No," Bamba said, stepping back. "Glory that comes from the pain of others is not true glory. It is an illusion." The battlefield dissolved, and Bamba was once again alone in the desert. He had passed another test, one that showed him the dangers of seeking fame at the expense of compassion and humanity. Bamba's journey continued, and he came to a mysterious grove in the heart of the desert, filled with trees that shimmered like silver. At the center of the grove was a pool of crystal clear water, and beside it stood a tall mirror, its surface gleaming in the sunlight. As Bamba approached the mirror, he saw his own reflection, but something was different. The reflection was not the weary traveler he had become, but a version of himself adorned in royal robes, with a crown upon his head and wealth surrounding him. "You see yourself as you could be," a voice echoed from the trees. "Is this not what you desire? To be a king, to have power, to be adored by all?" Bamba looked at his reflection and thought deeply. It was true, at the start of his journey, he had wanted more. He had wanted wealth, power, and respect. But as he looked closer, he realized that the reflection in the mirror was hollow. It lacked the wisdom and strength he had gained from his journey. "No," Bamba said softly. "I do not seek to be king. I seek to understand myself." At that moment, the mirror shattered and the grove disappeared, leaving Bamba standing alone once more. He knew that the greatest truth he had learned was that true power came from knowing oneself, not from the external trappings of wealth or status. The desert began to change once again, and Bamba found himself at the base of a towering mountain. At the summit, he could see a faint golden light, the treasure he had sought for so long. But the climb was steep and the path treacherous. With every step, the wind grew stronger, and the rocks beneath his feet threatened to give way. Bamba climbed for hours, his body aching and his mind exhausted. There were moments when he considered turning back, but something inside him urged him to continue. He had come too far to give up now. As he neared the summit, Bamba encountered an old man sitting by the side of the path. The man was dressed in simple robes and had a kind smile on his face. "You have done well to come this far," the old man said. "But before you can reach the treasure, you must answer one question. What is it that you truly seek?" Bamba thought for a long time. At the start of his journey, he had sought wealth and power, but now he realized that those things no longer mattered to him. What he truly sought was understanding. Understanding of himself, of the world, and of the meaning of life. "I seek wisdom," Bamba replied. The old man smiled and nodded. "Then you have already found it." As Bamba reached the summit, he saw the golden palace he had dreamed of. But when he entered, there was no treasure of gold, no jewels, and no riches. Instead, the palace was filled with books, scrolls, and artifacts from ancient times. It was a treasure trove of knowledge, a library of wisdom from across the ages. Bamba realized that the greatest treasure was not material wealth, but the wisdom he had gained through his journey. The trials he had faced in the desert had taught him endurance, patience, compassion, and self-awareness. He understood that true wealth came from within, from the knowledge and wisdom that one gained through life's experiences. Bamba returned to his village, not as a king or a wealthy man, but as a wise elder. He shared the knowledge he had gained with the people, teaching them that the greatest treasures in life are not those that can be seen or touched, but those that are felt and understood. And so, the story of Bamba, the wise traveler, became a legend, passed down through generations as a reminder that true wealth lies in wisdom, not in gold. Moral of the story: the greatest treasure one can possess is wisdom, gained through patience, perseverance, and understanding. Material wealth is fleeting, but the knowledge of oneself and the world endures forever. Greetings, cherished listeners and lovers of stories. First and foremost, we want to extend our heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you for watching and supporting Grandma Africa's Story Chest channel. Your love for our enchanting tales and your unwavering support mean the world to us. Before you go, we have a small favor to ask. If you enjoy our stories, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Your likes and subscriptions help push our stories to more people, allowing our channel to grow and enabling us to bring you even more enchanting tales from the heart of Africa. Join us on this magical journey. Like this video to show your support. Subscribe to stay updated with our latest stories. Share with friends and family to spread the magic. Thank you for being part of our storytelling family. Your support helps us continue to share the rich cultural heritage and timeless wisdom of Africa with the world.